Welcome to another edition of Wings Weekly. Jay Kleinknecht here along with head coach Steve Jennings. Coach, before we get into the weekend, I wanted to run through the awards banquet that was held yesterday at the Yildiz Shrine Center. Great turnout, great opportunity for fans, but even more so, great opportunity to recognize people, not only the players, but people that have worked behind the scenes. I want to run through some of those awards, but starting with the Nancy Odie Merit Award. Basically, that was all the staff that works behind the scenes. Yeah. The concession stands, the apparel shop, ticket takers, the security guards, all of those people that make game day operations run seamlessly for the most part. I mean, to the average fan, I don't think they really realize all that goes into it and how much effort it takes. And certainly Nancy does a great job of kind of managing all of that, and Aaron and Megan, all of them together on game days. It makes it seem pretty easy when it's really not that easy of a thing.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, and most of us don't even notice how much work has to happen. So it's great. They're reliable people. They come in, do a great job, and take a lot of pride in the work they do, and can't say thanks enough to them.
Yeah, we really can't. And, you know, it's funny because I was thinking about it as they were being recognized and so on, and I was like, you know, I go in, I walk through, go into your office, do the coach's show, I come out, I go into the concession stand, and immediately they're like, oh, we need coffee and a pretzel for Jay, and bang, 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 they go, and they just, I don't even have to say anything. They're awesome. They're great. They take care of us. Also, we want to give a recognition to the Rookie of the Year, who was Landry Schmuck.
Yep.
And, you know, in talking about that, I thought it was really interesting that there were 13 different players that were voted for in the Rookie of the Year voting, and that's saying something.
Most improved.
Oh, and most improved. Okay.
Most improved, yeah.
All right, well, we'll get to that one.
We had a bunch of, I think it was 8 for Rookie of the Year. Eight different people got votes on that category, but the big one was 13 for the most improved. Was a shocker. Like, it was great.
And we're going to talk about that here in just a second here too, because I do think that it says something. You know, it speaks to you know, how much each of these players in this locker room thinks of each other. Of course, the players vote on it, but the staff and so on votes on it as well. So it was pretty cool to see how the awards all kind of went out. So anyway, most improved was Luka Mel. And that was the one, like you just mentioned, 13 different people getting the votes for that one from the people, their peers, the people in this locker room. So that I think that really speaks to the fact that when they look around the room at each other, they're all thinking we're all getting better.
Right,
you know,
right, and that was really good. But you know, and it's great because we've talked about development and progressing and stuff. And I thought, no, at some point maybe people like, geez, that's all this guy talks about is that we're getting better. But when we were tallying the votes, I went, well, you know, this is what it looks like, right? Because we have that, and you know, the great part about that, it was even though we had that spread there, Luke was still a very clear, hands-down winner, right? So it was good. We had lots of recognition around the room of the growth and development of the guys, and then, you know, I thought it was meaningful that the winner, there was a significant step between him and the rest of the group.
For sure. Offensive Player of the Year went to Cade Neilson, probably not much of a surprise to many. Defensive Player of the Year, Kevin McKay. Unfortunately, Kevin wasn't able to join us at the awards banquet, but a very calming presence, a guy that, as you mentioned, reliable, and you know what you get from Kevin, and he again was the Defensive Player of the Year. Hard Hat and Heart Awards went to Jackson Yee. They're similar, but a little bit different. And one of them, you know, the work ethic that he puts forward is next to none. But then the heart, you know, playing for the guys in the locker room, playing for your team, and for that, the logo on the sweater is a large part of what makes the Heart Award so special. And then the Community Service Award winner was Mason Kelly, and Mason steps up on several occasions throughout the community to help out with the Wings presence. And the MVP was Cade Neilson. So those are the list of awards from yesterday, and again, a great opportunity to recognize these players and those that are aging out as well, to get a jersey or sweater to take home with them there too.
That's special, and you know, not all the teams at this level do something like that. So I think it's a great opportunity for us to get together and recognize the players for what they've done, and a little bit of a chance for them to thank the community for the support they get. And you know, overall, I just think I can't say enough good things about, you know, that legacy that we have here in Aberdeen, and continuing it on with that banquet. I think it's a huge deal.
Well, and it's funny because it's certainly not the end of the year. We know we still have regular season games and, of course, playoffs ahead. But it almost felt a little bit like a pep rally in some senses too, because you get an opportunity to hear Greg Oden say something like, there's still a cup out there to bring back, and the boys and everybody just erupts, and it does kind of feel like it reinvigorates everybody, their love for the game, for the fans, but certainly for the guys too, to get them kind of maybe focused, or not, maybe that's not the best word, but anyway, excited.
Yeah, it's a good pause, and we have team meals that typically are around game days and things like that, so having an event like that where we just get together and spend some time together and take a few minutes to take a pause and look at what we've done and also talk about what's available in front of us, I think that's a great thing.
Yeah, definitely. All right, now to the weekend. Friday ends up being a 4-3 overtime loss. The penalty kill was perfect, and the power play went 0 for 3. A tough one there. I think everybody, as we talked Saturday night, I think everybody was pretty disappointed with the outcome there. Felt like you maybe left one on the table, being up 3-1 with 7 minutes roughly left of the game. They tie it up and then win it 33 seconds into the overtime period. Kind of a gut punch. But a great bounce back game there on Saturday. But can we talk a little bit about Friday? A pretty strong 53 minutes roughly, but then it seemed like a little bit of let off, and Austin had a big push there, and a goofy goal too. I mean, there's some weird things that happened in that. But what were your guys' thoughts as coaches?
I thought for the most part we liked the game. I think we were frustrated with the outcome and frustrated, even in that 7 minutes, we were still trading chances back and forth. It wasn't like we just got totally run over for 7 minutes, but in that 7 minute span, we wind up, letting the game slip through our fingers. And I was disappointed for the group because that typically isn't something that happens to us when we're in that sort of position in the third period. I think this group has been very good about finishing off a game like that, and so to have that one slip through, it's frustrating. And my challenge to them was, if you have that opportunity and it slips through, the next thing you have to do is learn from it and not let it happen again. And I was happy that we didn't put ourselves in that same position the next night.
Right. Well, speaking of that next night, and after the 14th overtime game this season, Saturday ends up as a 3-1 win. Penalty kill, once again, perfect, killing off all 4 chances that Austin had, and you end up with the power play goal there. As I mentioned, a really strong bounce-back game. It felt like a complete 60 for the most part, too. Your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good answer to the game, to the Friday night game. A good step forward, right? The teddy bear toss can be a little pressure filled, right? Because there's always that: are we actually who's going to score and when and all that sort of stuff. So I was happy. We got that goal relatively early. Got the Bears on the ice. We could move on and worry about the rest of the hockey game, right? Which is really the important thing. And I thought the focus from the group was really strong, but we just got through and took care of business, and we got up on them, and there was no real concern that we were starting to let some momentum build against us. That's a good team. They work hard and they play hard. So we had to play the same way. I thought it was a really good finish to the weekend, and I know when we have to play them 4 more times, and I expect each of those 4 games will probably be very similar to what we saw Saturday night.
Without a doubt. Well, and like we've talked about on several occasions, is consistency and playing a full 60. And again, I think that felt like that was a game on Saturday night that you can build momentum off of and show them this is what we need to do.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay, well, unfortunately, the Wings didn't get a whole lot of help from any of the other teams in the rest of the division when it comes to standings and so on. Bismarck played St. Cloud tough over the weekend, really pushed them, but St. Cloud ended up winning both games. Minot and North Iowa split on the weekend. We'll run through standings here. St. Cloud at the top of the division. They have now clinched a playoff spot, the first to do that in the Central Division. They have 71 points. Wings with 63 points in second. Austin with 59 points in third. Minot with 59 points. Then North Iowa with 53 and Bismarck with 52. You've got Bismarck coming up. They're I mean, I don't want to say they're struggling, but they're scrambling. They're to find a way into those final 4 spots with a few games left. And they're going to need some help from Minot or Austin as well. So it's going to be an interesting home and home with them. And again, a team that you've seen fairly recently now. What do you think are going to be some keys against the Bobcats and the challenges of a home and home too?
Yeah, I mean so I mean with them, they are playing with their backs against the wall. They like we talked about a couple weeks ago, healthier roster, guys playing with some energy and some compete. I mean, one of the things when guys come back from injury, they also come back with energy. Mm-hmm. Right, and that's something that people kind of forget, that those kids, as frustrating as it is when you have somebody who's out, they also come back in with a little bit of a different energy store than the rest of your group that's been playing the whole way, right? So, and they have some offensive punch for sure, and so that's a group you can't take them lightly, and I think they all understand what their job is and what their picture looks like, so they're not going to come in and just mail it in, and we can't assume that. I think they taught us that, and I think the last series, I don't think our guys assumed that was the case anyway, but they gave a pretty good reminder of that, and I expect nothing different. It's been all the games with them this year have been really tight, and I doubt it's going to change. And the beauty, I guess, of the home and home is that we're traveling up there on Saturday, so at least we get the extra night in our own beds and that sort of stuff. But it's going to take us our full focus and full energy here this weekend, so we get through those two games and gain what we need to gain out of it.
Well, like I said, a great Saturday night game to build off of, and hopefully that carries over into Friday night at home here once again. All right, Coach. Well, that's really about all I've got for you here. Wanted to run through the games and, of course, cover the awards, and then kind of get a little bit of a foretaste of what Bismarck has to offer and what we can expect from them. But I think you're absolutely right. I think those games are going to be very hotly contested, like they usually are against Bismarck. So should be a lot of fun here Friday night at the Odeon. We'll hope to see a whole bunch of fans out there like we saw on the teddy bear toss night too.
And thanks to those people who came and brought teddy bears. It was awesome, right? When the goal went in, Gilly scored and they started raining. It was a great thing. I thought they did a good job of kind of covering the ice, and so it was good. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I thought it was funny that it was so delayed. It started and then it just kept coming and coming, and there wasn't like a big wave. It was just like this constant flow of teddy bears. I was laughing about, like, as everyone's they're out there sweeping them into the Zam doors, and more bears are still coming out. It's like, oh, that guy must have been in the bathroom or something. But yeah, that's always a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, once again, Coach, thanks so much for your time, and best of luck against the Bobcats.
All right, thanks, Jay.
We'll return with our second portion of Wings Weekly coming up after this.
We raise the bar on bar food with sandwiches, tenders, and burgers. There's more where this came from. To the greatest of all time.
Wings Weekly continues, and as usual, a player is joining me this time. Once again, it's Cade Neilson of Nottingham, England. Cade, we're going to forego all of so when did you start playing hockey, and what got you excited about and all that, and we're just going to sit here and BS a little bit, all right? Last night, the awards banquet, you come away with Offensive Player of the Year and the MVP, breaking some records in the process, 142 total points. That is an all-time franchise record that was previously held by Brad Belisle. And right now, still with games left during the regular season, 47 assists and 23 goals. Let's start with the awards. What does it mean to you to be voted on by the guys in this locker room and the coaches and so on, the people that are around you that pay especially close attention to the games? It's got to mean a little bit more to know that it's from your peers too, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. It was actually a real honor walking up there, hearing my name, seeing it. So it was really cool, and I was really thankful that the guys noticed it and thought of me when they put down my name for the award. So it was really cool. It was a long walk. I remember me and Cheese Jackson were like sitting next to each other, and he had quite a night last night too. And we're both just so nervous because like you end up walking so robotic, like up there, like you're so worried about your walk, you're swinging your arms too much or something. But yeah, it was an honor.
Shuey actually said that too. He goes, "Oh, it's a long walk," and I'm like, if I hear one more player say it's a long walk, when you skate 60 minutes and play your butts off, and then you're going to complain about how long the walk is to the podium to accept.
It's not the long walk. It's like the walk up, and you don't know where to look. You're like looking down, you're looking up, and everyone's kind of like looking at you. It's more nerve-wracking than you think. It was weird.
All right, love that. I don't want to say changed, because obviously, you've been a big part of this team for years now and have had a lot of success, but 47 assists, 23 goals. I mean, why are you putting numbers up like this?
I don't know. It's $1 million question. I think it's a lot to do with my line mates.
Yeah.
And just the team in general. We're really dialed in this year. They're definitely helping me out. I'm getting some lucky second assists from Walshy doing something cool, or Bossy doing something cool. So they're helping me a lot this year, making me look good, which is nice for me.
I shouldn't be all that surprised that you would deflect any credit and give it to the guys in your team, because it's more than that. I mean, obviously it takes everybody. It takes a team effort and your linesmen or linesmates as well. But that's a pretty humble answer, right? I mean, come on, you got to be feeling some jam, some juice, right?
Yeah. Well, it helps being in the league for 3 years too.
Yeah.
Kind of understand a little more each year. You kind of learn tendencies more on the other teams. You kind of pick up just little minor things, and I was lucky my first 2 years. I was a little bit of a sponge still, learning from guys like Riley Murphy, and so tried to listen to those guys as much as I could.
Sure.
And now it's worked out.
I'm always curious, though, and when I see you guys having a conversation like on, with other players, or oftentimes even with a linesman or a referee, do you feel like the years of experience and the fact that they know you, because they've seen you on several occasions, does that give you a little bit of an advantage when you're talking to like the rest of the linesmen?
Maybe a little bit. I think I'm not a big yeller at them either.
Yeah.
I think that probably helps in my favor, because I just like to have a genuine conversation sometimes too. But they've definitely picked up on some of my tendencies, so they know when I'm trying to do something like that I shouldn't be doing, whether it's like being late to an icing or trying to just have a stupid conversation. They know, and they figured me out pretty well now. So.
I actually talked with the referee quite a bit up in Minot. And he actually mentioned you, and he told me, he said that you were one that he actually would listen to a little bit, because of the fact that you're not a chronic complainer. You're not somebody that's constantly complaining about everything, and the way you go about it is more civil. So, and he told me, he said, yeah, he's a guy I'll give him a little bit to.
They're human too, right? Like,
yeah.
We all do bad things, like whether it's a bad call or a good call. So when I get in trouble for it, I hear from it. So if he gets in trouble, I want to give it to him a little bit.
Right.
In a respectful way.
Yep.
So keep talking.
How about other players? Like, you see different guys, interact with you guys. Sometimes it's pushing and shoving. Sometimes it almost seems like it's more of friendly chirping and conversation, or even at the end of the game when you guys take a knee at center ice and get joined by the other some of the other team, and so on. Is there a conversation there that because again you've some of these veterans, you get to know each other a little bit, versus a rookie and having never seen this guy before? Are there conversations that take place on the ice?
Here and there, yeah, and there's no friends on the ice. I've said that before, but there's certainly an element of respect that you have for each other. You kind of respect what you've done for your respective teams and everything.
Sure.
So last 3 years I've made not a relationship, but I know who they are, and maybe before the game we'll say hi, or after the game we'll say good job, just that kind of stuff. So nothing crazy, but we definitely, when it's game time, we're battling against each other and doing little mini games. Like, I think last weekend me and Riddle were like on the face-off, just like chopping each other's feet, just little things like that. So it's pretty cool.
Well, and it's always seemed like the last guy off the ice thing in Minot always seems to be a big thing too. And I'm directly across, so I could look down the tunnel, both tunnels, and see who's.
Minot hates me. Like, I'm hated by some people. I'm fine with it, but their rink staff, they do not like me, because I'm a little weasel out there too. I know it. I'll hold my hands up, but I've been yelled at a couple times from there. So
to get off the ice.
If they're listening, I'm sorry for all the pain I've caused over the last couple of years. It's nothing personal. It's just little games, but yeah, it's a little game now kind of thing.
Well, and you mentioned Riley Murphy earlier. I was like, he was one that was like that too. He liked to have fun, but like get away with a little something here or there in warm-ups and stuff. So. It adds a little bit of well, I don't know. I feel like fun, especially when they have one of their captains is leaning on the wall, just waiting for It looks like you're talking too. I always feel like you're going to go. No, I'm not going either.
Sometimes that happens, but it's like, get off. No, you get off and you basically just stand there looking at each other until
stalemate.
Yeah, and then that's when the ref says like you got to get off because it's obviously home ice gets to the last. So.
Yep. Okay. How about the Rochambeau rock paper scissors? Rock paper scissors. Let me try that again. But we talked about this last time, and you were kicking some butt this year so far after not having all that much success last year. But now, where are you at?
See, last year I kicked Clay's butt, and the start of this year.
That was a pretty even matchup.
No. No. That's what he says. I won. Regular season and playoffs, I beat him both times, so I was 2-0.
Nice.
But the start of this year, I was down bad.
Okay, maybe I had it mixed up.
Yeah, I was really down bad, but I've started picking up a little bit. I've played against a couple other people now too, so I'm not losing to the same person every time. But I had a good weekend this weekend, I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. After the awards last night, Greg Odie, of course, asked you to say a few words, and you kind of talked about your time in Aberdeen. And I don't know, as I was ready to come into the locker room here this afternoon, I got to thinking about what would your favorite memories be? What would some of your favorite memories be of your time as an Aberdeen wing? It doesn't have to necessarily even be hockey related. It could be something that happened, away from the ice or whatever. But when you think back on your time in the Dean, what are some favorite memories?
The Dirty Dean. There's so many. It's hard to pinpoint one. I like the simple things that just guys coming over, hanging out. Last year we had a big poker club. This year we have a big movie club. I like this as much as I love the stuff at the rink. I really enjoy just hanging out with them and getting to know everyone on a personal level too.
Yeah.
Because at the rink there's not a lot of that kind of talk, especially at the start of the year. So the more you hang out with everyone, the more you understand them, talk about each other's families, because obviously everyone misses their family. So just getting to know everyone on a personal level, that's really cool.
Well, I think that speaks a lot, too, because it is about the relationships that are formed and how, we always talk about family and how even with all the fans there last night, it feels like a family. And I've talked to people from outside that are like, wow, it's hard for them to really understand the relationship. Moving on to family here in just a second, actually, but that reminded me, is there any place that you'll miss? Like the Twist Cone maybe, or Roma's, or places like that where you're like, some place that years later you're going to be like, man, I missed that.
Yeah, so I'm going to miss Roma's.
Yeah.
Because we do that every Friday. Every home Friday we have a little group that goes there. So Roma's, best spot in town. I'm saying that right now. Hand on heart, sticking with that till I die. Best spot in town, the best bread. Love that place. Twist Cone, unpopular opinion, it's overrated.
Oh.
I'm going to get a lot of heat for it.
You are.
I'm going to get a lot of heat for it, and I understand it. And it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. It's enjoyable ice cream. It's good. But I think it's overrated.
Maybe you haven't had the right things.
That's what everyone tells me. They're like, you got to try this, you got to try this. And I'm like, okay. But I'm not allowed to eat it anyway right now because of Lent. So
sure.
That's no fun.
All right, well, we talked about family and the relationships and so on. Your brother was here for a week, right?
I think maybe longer.
A little longer than that?
He was here a while.
So he got a chance to kind of feel out the Wings practices and the locker room and all of that, and of course having you to lean on and get some advice from and stuff. I was laughing because I asked coaches, I'm like, so how did Cade react to that? Was he like, did he like kind of, was he like lenient or you know what I mean, like giving him, going easy on him or whatever? And coach said, actually no. Said if anybody, Cade was actually kind of hard on him and kind of like, you were going to walk the line here, or otherwise, And I thought that was kind of cool. I was kind of thinking to myself, well, as a little brother, you come into a locker room and you think, oh, my big brother's got me, and whatever. It's like, nope, I would have to work that much harder here.
No, he knows I got him, but it's just the way we were brought up too. Nothing in life comes for free. Nothing in life comes easy, so I wasn't going to start now.
Yeah.
But he made his friends here. I didn't want to smother him, be with him the whole time. It was his experience, his time, so I kind of let him do his own thing, and I was happy when I got to hang out with him because I miss him.
For sure. What are the odds he becomes an Aberdeen Wing?
Oh, I don't know. That's a big question. I hope so, but he finished off the year in the where did he finish off? In Olds Grizzlies forget what league. Gonna get in trouble for that later. I think it's the AJ. But he finished off really well there. So now he's in Utah with his old billet family just because he wants to stay here and skate a little bit longer. So I guess the world's his oyster right now. He's looking around. So might go back there, could go somewhere else. Everything's up in the air.
Right on. All right. Well, and we talked about this last night. I think everybody ended by saying this is not the end of the season. We obviously have regular season left, but then hopefully a deep run into the playoffs. What I mentioned with Coach just a little while ago, that it almost in some ways kind of felt like a pep rally to me too, the awards banquet, because it was really cool. Like, I got goosebumps when I heard Greg say there's a cup out there for us to go get. What does that do for you guys as a team, as players, to hear your coaches and the ownership, excited about the finishing off the season strong?
Yeah, I think all it can really do is inspire us.
Yeah.
We came here with one goal in mind, and we had a couple talks about how our season's gone up and down, and we're starting to figure out that consistency more and more as the year goes on. So it's business every day now. Everyone comes in dialed, ready to go, excited to work, and we all have that end goal in mind. So it was nice to hear that reinforced again. Haven't spoken about it in a while, so I think it was really good for the team.
Excellent. All right. Well, hey, I really appreciate you coming on. I won't keep you here any longer, though. But again, congratulations on the all-time franchise record and total points. Also, of course, the Offensive Player of the Year and MVP. And again, thanks for joining me here.
Thanks for having me.
The Wings kick off the final month of the regular season with a home-and-home weekend against the Bismarck Bobcats. Wings are home on Friday, April 1st, before hitting the road to Bismarck on Saturday, April 2nd. Friday, doors open at 5:30, and Friday, the puck hits the ice at the ODI Center at 7:15. It's Free Kids Friday. Kids can receive a free ticket to the game with the purchase of an adult ticket at the door. Get your tickets online at tickets.aberdeenwings.com or at the door. You can also get $10 general admission tickets at any Sea Express location in Aberdeen with additional purchase. Saturday, it is a road trip up to Bismarck, and that also scheduled for a 7:15 puck drop. And fans can watch the away game using their Hockey TV login or at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Aberdeen, the official home for all Wings away games. The game's audio will be broadcast via Hub City Radio 94.1 The Rock, or you can listen on the Rock app on your mobile device and carry the games with you wherever you are. If you want to catch the game in person, join us on the fan bus. There are still a few spots available, so email Aaron by Wednesday, March 30th to reserve your spot. The Wings will be on the road against the Bruins on April 8th and 9th before returning to the ODI on April 15th and 16th to once again take on the Bruins for the final weekend of the regular season. Stay tuned to AberdeenWings.com for game day information. Don't forget, Wings Weekly is now a podcast. Find the audio for this season's episode on Spotify, Stitcher, or iHeartRadio. And for all the latest news and information on the Wings, visit AberdeenWings.com or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Once again, Cade Neilson, great season, and looking forward to seeing you guys finish off the rest of the season strong. Thanks again for joining me here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, folks, that'll wrap up this week's Wings Weekly.